Ooh, yeah. Welcome to the world of Mime Over Matter. Today we are going to be taking a look at Playmate's new/old remastered Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles of my personal favorite, Donatello. They took the design of the classic toy line, they updated the articulation, they made them cool looking, they were already cool looking. They made it where it's different enough where, hey, why not have both? And I have some of my other Donatellos here for comparison. The one who helped me with the unboxing, that is the Loyal Subjects. It's a very cool, very bright, very vibrant cartoon look. And look at this guy. This is the classic Ninja Turtle. This is what started it all. This is where everyone fell in love with action figures and Ninja Turtles, as long as you're similar to me. I did notice he's flat-footed, which is amazing, because if anyone's tried to stand up the regular Ninja Turtles, it is not an easy task. And let's take a look at what's left of the box. The Donatellos did quite a number on it. So we have our 40th anniversary celebration of the comics. And then we have, this is Donatello, just all new articulation. We've got some pretty cool accessories on there. And he comes with what I think is the coolest thing. It's a little building top, and you could put them all together because they've really tricked you into wanting to buy all four of them so you can make that rooftop scene. And I know I'm a victim to that. They all look so amazing. Look at that. And then they've all got different roof parts on there. And I know I only wanted to pick up Donatello because I don't need that many new Ninja Turtles, but I'm very tempted to try to get the rest of them. And I know myself, so you'll see them here soon. All right, let's open him up and take a look. And then after we look at his accessories, I do want to bring in some of the other Donnies, and then we'll just compare some of the articulation, because the great thing about this figure is the updated articulation. Slight tweaks in the design to make him look a little bit more comic-y with the skin, but the articulation is really the selling point. And there we go. Here's his rooftop. He's got an extra slice of pizza on there that I just stuck my thumb in the old cheese. Probably should have watched where I was going. And that is pretty amazing. There's no peg on it. I was almost expecting there to be a pegs where you can put his foot on there as like a stand, but I guess now he can go wherever he wants. And look at that. He's standing so tall, so proud. Here is the mechanical piece that goes on the roof. I'm not sure exactly if it fits in somewhere, if there's like a slot for it. I might have to consult my back of box just to make sure I'm putting it in the right spot. Oh, you heard the buzzer. You know what that means. That means it's stop motion time. I'll be right back.
Yeah, oof. Radical.
So as we can see with the stop motion, Donnie's got some pretty nice articulation, definitely an upgrade from the original. And it looks like from the back of the box from our problem earlier, it looks like the mechanical box just goes and sits on there. It doesn't actually plug in anywhere, so it just kind of sits there loose, which I'm not a huge fan of. I was hoping it could actually just have a spot and either clip on or peg on, but yeah, I'm not seeing anything. If I'm missing something, feel free to let me know and I will play around. And now we can just stand up there, which is pretty awesome. I do like that. And then the other piece is the metallic chef hat. So let's put that on Donnie. He looks majestic. He looks like he's ready to bake. But also, when he's not ready to wear it, you can just put it on the ceiling and it looks like a vent. Not too shabby. And let's take a look at the rest of his accessories. We'll just stand Donnie over there. And he's got this cool little weapon with this chain and ball, but the chains do not move, which is another interesting design, because as we saw in the back of the box, Michelangelo's nunchucks have chains, so they probably could have done this, but they decided not to. Yeah, I'm not going to take away points because Donnie's got his bow, so any other weapons are really just bonus. So that being said, let's put his bow in his hand so he can look like Donatello and not just a turtle wearing a mask. So there we go, slides right in. It's a nice softer of the plastic, so you don't have to worry about breaking it too much. It's got a spot on his back where it could holster when he's not ready to fight the foot. And there you go. He looks ready for battle. He looks pretty good. Now he's got these. These are very throwback from the original accessories that he came with. They're the blades that I guess he holds in his hands, and he mainly uses them for slicing pizza, so I'm not sure how well they would work in a fight. Yeah, you can see he's holding it. It's facing downward. He can slice up some pizza. and I don't know. I like them. They're more nostalgic. I don't think you'd ever actually pose them with it or use them anywhere because they've got their standard weapons. And the last bit of accessories, very nostalgic as well. It is the throwing stars. So now, in order to relive those memories, take them out and then immediately lose them, either under a couch, in a crack. You might find them later, but then you'll immediately lose them again. It's a fun game. So we looked at his accessories, and now let's take a little bit of time to do a comparison to some of our other favorite Donatellos. So let's make ourselves some room, put them in the back, just throw them off to the floor. Like I said, I'll never see those throwing stars again. And the first comparison we're going to do, of course, should be against the original Ninja Turtle figure. So let's bring him out. I guess the guest of honor. The guest of honor would be the unpack guy. This will be the second guest of honor. So there we go. It just looks beautiful. This started toy collecting for a lot of people. It's a perfect figure, and this remastered version it plays off a lot to what he was, and I could appreciate that. So his color is a little bit darker of a green. The purples on him are pretty consistent. His accessories are now painted. He's standing up taller, so you can see that he is a little bit bigger because Donatello's on the original, his knees are a little bit bent, and he's got that bent foot. So the new version has flat foot, so you can not have him fall over too much. And then look at these faces. This is interesting. It looks like the new version they gave him Leonardo's face with the half gur mouth versus the original had the double gur mouth. And then the Leonardo on this set has the double gur mouth. I'm not sure if that was intentional or if they had swapped them for a reason, but interesting. The D on the belt is also slightly different lettering. Other than that, the belt looks very similar. And then the shells on the back, there's more detailed design on the remastered one, which you'd expect. It doesn't have the battle damage scars that the original has. And then not only just the leg not being bent, there's also now articulation, which is why they didn't have to bend the leg. So the ankle goes back and forth, and then the knee goes back and forth, and then the hip has very little articulation, so it can't move very much. But that's actually pretty common in Ninja Turtles figures. We're going to look at the Super 7 and the NECA one as well, and we'll notice the same thing. The hips don't really flex too much. And then on the arms, we've got some wrist articulation. We've got his elbow, and then my favorite part is his shoulder has just a full range of motion. So it's awesome. You can do so much with these guys, such as knock over other Donatellos, as is standard. And looking at his articulation on his arms, for those not familiar, he's got the wrist articulation and then like the 5 points of articulation, just shoulder up and down, which is cool, especially with the wrist articulation. You can get him to hold the bow staff like diagonally like this, but now you can't really do too much else with that. However, the new version, we could do some pretty cool things with it. We can make him swing it around, move it around, hit people with it, make shish kebabs, marshmallows for s'mores. The ideas are endless what we can do. So let's put it in both hands and see what kind of really cool movements we can get out of that. So this is holding it like the standard Ninja Turtle that we have over there. And now what we can do is we can rotate it around, and the bow staff just kind of moves with him, which is awesome. So he can block, parry, flip, all sorts of fun stuff. Knock over Donatello. Classic Donnie move. And for me, this is the main reason why these new remastered versions are definitely worth picking up. It's because the articulation is just so cool. The design is so similar that if you're just going to be looking at it for the design, you might not need it versus the original. But if you're going to be playing with it, if you're going to be posing it, if you're going to be doing stop motions, this figure is kind of a must because it's just that cool. It could really move great, and it's so smooth. I can't wait to do some more stop motions with it. And let's compare it to some of our other Donnies. Like this is a more articulated Loyal Subjects Donnie. The shoulder joints on mine are just shot. That you can see that they just don't stay. They just move around. It makes it really tough for stop motion. I did use them for the unboxing just because I like them and I wanted to use them, but it's not easy. It does move around a little bit too much for my liking. So we can see the articulation on this figure, just elbow joints, double joints in the knees, elbows, really good shoulder articulation, wrist articulation, ankle articulation, the head's articulated. It just got a lot of movement. This new remastered version is a very similar style. It just doesn't have the double articulation on the knees and the elbows, but otherwise it's very comparable. And you saw in the Loyal Subjects one, the hip also had very limited range of motion. Um, so I think that's just standard on Ninja Turtles. I think it's the way the shell is, but you can't really get any high kicks out of them. Now to bring in the NECA movie Donnie, which is probably one of the greatest Ninja Turtles figures ever made. And you can just look at him. The detail on him is awesome. So we're not going to compare the looks of the comic cartoonish one to the movie one. That's not a fair comparison because everyone's got their different style. What I'm really focusing on is the articulation, which the NECA one is a little bit more advanced from articulation standpoint. Really clean joints. Got the wrist articulation, got the elbow, got the ball in the head so it can move around. Full range of motion of the shoulders, which is just absolutely amazing. Same limitations on the hips where they really don't move very wide at all. But then we've got the knee and the ankle articulation. So it's good. Every single one of them seems very limited in the hips, but that's just what it is. So all in all, you really can't go wrong with any Ninja Turtles figures. What I've decided: articulation, non-articulated, statue, super articulated, cartoon, comic, movie. Really, they're all great. So I'd say go out, pick yourself up any sort of Ninja Turtle, Donatello if you prefer. That's what I prefer, and I love this figure. I'm probably gonna get the rest of them, but I love all Ninja Turtles figures, so I'm a very biased reviewer. But I say pick them up anyway. Thanks for watching.